Well, that sucked. Bruins lose 4-3 to the Florida Panthers. And god damn it, we're already not even 5 games into the season. We've already lost 2 games to Florida. Not happy about that one. Not in the slightest. Welcome back down into the den, everybody, though. Now, this game was actually kind of interesting because this game had a lot of notes similar to the Bruins at the start of the 2010s. In that one team started playing really well, and then the other team made it so that the first team could not had to play a game that was not hockey. And that was the Florida Panthers today. Hey, the Bruins got off to an amazing start. They got off to a really good start. The offense was buzzing. The fourth line was spectacular again. I don't know how our fourth line is legitimately one of the best in the entire league. I went over that last time. But I really don't understand how this fourth line is so great. But it is. And then the Florida Panthers just decide, you're not gonna play hockey today. You're gonna play Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And pretty much all started by AJ Greer. But before we get into that, like, comment, and subscribe, please. Thank you very much. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm. I would really like to get to 100 subscribers at some point this season. It would put me over the moon. It would make me the happiest Bruins fan you ever done saw. But Swayman in net against Bobrovsky, as it should be. And for what it's worth, Swayman had a better game today than Korpisalo had on opening night. I think now, I don't want to use that as a benchmark to... I don't want to perpetually use that as a benchmark to gauge how good Korpisalo is going to be for this team. But at the same time, you do kind of have to only assess the games that have been played. You can't. I can't start talking about the game against Colorado because that game hasn't started yet. That game is still 2 days away. And that is going to be a very fun game, honestly. But in any case, yes, Swayman in net against Bobrovsky. Back to the second round. On we go, I guess. Yes, the Bruins get out to a fantastic start. On an amazing shift from the fourth line, Mark Kastelic, who, by the way, somehow he is right behind in Patra, and somehow he's our fourth best forward. I would say our top 3 at this point are Patra, Pasternak, and Lindholm. Hilariously enough, the second line is nowhere to be seen in this, and we'll get to the second line in a minute. But on a fantastic shift from the fourth line, in a centering pass from Kastelic, it's obviously a centering pass, goes off of Beecher's stick and beats Bobrovsky for the 1-0 goal. But don't get ahead of yourselves because the Bruins let up a pretty soft one in less than 2 minutes later to Anton Lundell. Now, admittedly, the second goal was on a 4-on-4, and admittedly it was before the tension started going crazy, but there was still a little bit of roughhousing on the other side. But this one is just. This one hurts to watch. This one really hurts to watch. Lindholm makes a pass around the board. It's to Lohrei, and Lohrei with tons of space in front of him decides the best course of action is to pass the puck back to Hampus Lindholm, with Anton Lundell closing in rapidly and cutting Lindholm off. Now, I think that this is on both Lindholm and Lohrei here. Lohrei should have absolutely passed forward and not right back to Lindholm, and Lindholm should have had more urgency in playing the puck. Like, legitimately the thing that is made me frustrated with Lindholm so much to start this season is the fact that he hasn't played with urgency. It's never really felt like he's actually putting 100% of himself on the ice, and that's really, really frustrating, especially because of the culture that this team represents. It's one that says you don't get any games off, you don't take any games off, you don't take a single shift off. This culture was born by Zdeno Chara, raised by David Pastrnak and Charlie Coyle, and taught in the Brad Marchand School of Hard Knocks. You don't take any shift off, and that's exactly what I've been seeing from Hampus Lindholm. I need to see him work this out more. And then the floodgates decide to open. We get a fighting between Pavel Zacha and Scum Weasel AJ Greer, who started by doing the most Scum Weasel thing you could do: cross-check the opponent's star player into the end board viciously. That's exactly what happened to David Pastrnak at the hands of AJ Greer, and for some reason the refs don't call anything on that one. They don't. Well, and then the floodgates just decide to open even further. We got Marchand and absolutely dummying Nate Schmidt. We got Pasta doing having a major interference against Sam Reinhart, and the Panthers end up scoring again. And the frustrating thing is that this one is scored exactly the same way that I've been a little bit frustrated about the Bruins not getting goals on Bobrovsky for. Top shelf. Like, Lohrei had a fantastic goal in the second against Bobrovsky, going top shelf. Just completely disregarding all of the two defensemen in front of him, and top shelf. But later on, we had a fantastic 2-on-1 opportunity with Pasta and Lindholm, and Lindholm just didn't go. And Elias Lindholm just didn't go top shelf on Bobrovsky. Like, I think Sergei Bobrovsky is the best goaltender in the league right now, bar none. There's nobody there. That is nobody that is a better goaltender than Sergei Bobrovsky at this point in the NHL. Oh, Andrei Vasilevsky had his prime and is slowly tapering off. Omar had an insane first year, and he's still really good. Not insane first year. He had an insane year in Boston where he won the Triple Crown. And I will love him forever. But he's still not as consistently insane as Bobrovsky. Shesterkin needs a better team in front of him to actually beat the better goaltender. And Hellebuck won the Vezina, but at the same time, he's constantly he has to carry the burden of playing with the Winnipeg Jets, which heavy is the crown, brother. Heavy is the crown. And the Bruins, but the one thing that Bobrovsky has always had a problem with is blocker side top shelf. Now he made glove side top shelf. Now he made a really good save on blocker side. On his blocker side on a Bruins power play in like the third period, but at the same time the Bruins just couldn't put it together. They couldn't put it together to go top shelf on him. And I will just say this: the Bruins were the better team in this game. Like, don't let the score deceive you. The Bruins were absolutely the better team in this game. They were hungrier. They played with more urgency. They weren't shorthanded by like Florida was. Florida was missing one of their bigger scum weasels, Matthew Tkachuk, and one of their actually decent players, Sasha Barkov. But even without Tkachuk, you had just a whole litter of scum weasels on this team. You had AJ Greer, you had Anton Lundell, you had Gustav Forsling, you had all these players, and the Bruins they played that game pretty decently, but they couldn't. But when it was time to give it up and when it was time to give it up and go back to playing actual hockey, the Bruins played really well. They just couldn't put it together. And that's something that I think that this team and this fan base needs to grapple with, is that the Bruins, despite what we've been led to believe by the standings over the past 2 seasons, are not the best team in the NHL. Not at all. Not even slightly. The best team in the NHL. I have no idea who just messaged me on Steam. I don't care. They're not the best team in the NHL. Oh, they're not even the best team in their own division. Florida's the best team in their division. And why? And sometimes you're just going to lose to teams that are better than you because they're better than you. And I know that you need to beat better teams that are better than you to be a better team than them. But at the same time, the Bruins don't have that gas. The Bruins don't have that gas. Case in point, the shorthand. Case in point, our middle six sucks. Our middle six is absolutely garbage right now. Directly responsible for two of the 4 goals that Florida scored. One of them being regrettably a really bad turnover from Matt Poitras that led to a 2-on-1. Lindholm tried to chip it out, but Charlie Coyle just completely whiffed on corralling it from the net front, and the Panthers scored on them. I'm pretty sure it was Sam Reinhart that did it, and then in the second period, Reinhart does it again, shorthanded, from a really, really bad turnover from Trent Frederick, who, by the way, is having a really bad start to the season. Now, I think the Bruins are gonna get back to their usual form at some point in this season, but god damn it, this middle six is just so. They're playing such uninspired hockey and such frustrating hockey. And I don't like that. I don't like seeing that I don't like seeing that on my team. I don't like seeing that on my team. Next game is against Colorado. The Bruins might have a decent chance at this, but they're also taking on the the former the reigning Hart winner, and they're taking on a former Norris winner, and they're also taking on a multiple-time 50-goal scorer, one of the best captains of the league in Gabriel Landeskog. At least I think that he's back. I'll check. Never mind. Landeskog is still out. Great. Wonderful. I love that. I actually fucking hate that. Doesn't matter. Next game against Colorado. It's going to be a tough game. At the very least, Georgiev has been a not great goaltender. So you're getting a little bit of a softball in net where that's concerned. I want this team to succeed. I want this team to succeed. And I think this is going to be I think that this has the makings of a good comeback, of a good bounce back game. Ideally, I would not want to be 0-2 against the former Stanley Cup, against the reigning Stanley Cup winner, especially this early in the season. But at the same time, I think that the Bruins are in a better space I think that the Bruins are in a better place than most want to admit. But at the same time, there are also a lot of problems that the doubters of this team are completely correct on. And middle six is wonky. This power play can't score for shit. Another freaking game where we don't score a power play goal. Oh my god, it is frustrating. It is so unbelievably frustrating. But at the same time, my dad is coughing up a lung in the other room. I'm sorry. On the other hand, I think this team might be on the track where this team might be where it needs to be right now, and that's fine. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care. Bruins Nation.